Back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we're discussing the current marijuana initiative that they're trying to get on the ballot with Neil Levine, who is the campaign manager for the Committee to Regulate and Control Marijuana, and Washoe County District Attorney Dick Gammack. Dick, let's talk about reality. Okay, a lot of people, both in this state and across the nation, have smoked pot at some point in their lives. Yes, it's illegal, but wouldn't we be better off to regulate this and control it? I have to agree with Neil that at this point in time, all we're doing is funding criminal enterprises when we could control the situation. And of course, nobody wants to have anybody driving while under the influence of marijuana or operating heavy equipment or getting into accidents, whatever. But shouldn't people be allowed to do what they want to do in their own homes? Isn't this similar to when we tried to say that alcohol, should be banned during Prohibition?
Let me back up here a little bit, because I'm going to give a little history on this. The whole policy behind George Soros and the Marijuana Policy Project is a legalization of all drugs, not just marijuana. Marijuana is the start. That's on the internet. Look it up.
Well, go to.
So his whole purpose. May I finish?
We don't get a dime from your.
May I finish? I kept very quiet while he was talking. May I go ahead and finish?
Absolutely.
The whole policy, the whole purpose behind George Soros and what he's funded here is to legalize drugs, all drugs. He started with marijuana. Marijuana is a dangerous drug. The people of the 60s and the 70s, our generation who smoked this back then, are not dealing with the same drug today. The THC content is considerably up to 20 times higher than it was then. It is a drug that is a gateway drug that leads to other drugs. Now, this is all the stuff that came up last time when they were trying to legalize it. Call it control if you want to, but the bottom line is they're trying to legalize marijuana again. It is a gateway drug. We fought that one back and forth. We went to the over several hundred people who are in our drug program here in Washoe County. 85% of those folks started with marijuana. It is an addicting drug. It does brain damage, and we haven't even got into the part about the smoking and the secondhand smoke from marijuana with some 200 elements in it, more than tobacco has in it. So you've got all that stuff floating around. So there's all kinds of issues here. But probably my biggest concern is we're saying that we can't control it, so let's just legalize it. Why can't the same argument be made for methamphetamine, cocaine, and a lot of other drugs?
Well, actually, you know what? I think the war on drugs.
A lot of countries have made that case.
Right, but
they have made that case, and they said that we're going to quit spending this money on trying to legalize or trying to make illegal something that we cannot enforce.
I mean, we've spent billions and billions and billions of dollars in the war on drugs, and we have gotten nowhere with it. The drugs are still coming into this country. The demand for these drugs is coming into this country. Isn't it a case of survival of the fittest that, in my opinion, we should legalize drugs, all drugs, and spend the money that we've been spending on the war on drugs on education and treatment. There are people who have addictive personalities that are going to find a substance of one kind or another to be addicted to.
The same argument was made in Europe, and go look at the internet and the problems they're having now, especially the medical expenses and the medical problems that they're having now because of legalization of drugs.
Well, can I answer that? There's a lot of things he said just aren't true. First off, the Marijuana Policy Project, its entire mission is marijuana-based, not all drugs-based. We don't. I
said George Soros.
We don't get it. No, you said the Marijuana Policy Project. But besides the fact, this campaign, we don't get a dime from George Soros. So you can throw out your straw man all you want. And then as far as
how about Mr. Lewis and Mr. Sperling?
And as far as
where is your money?
Wait. I would like to answer some of the things said. As far as gateway drug goes, marijuana, the gateway theory is a myth. The Institute of Medicine and a study commissioned by the federal government in 1999 said that there is little evidence to show that there is a gateway drug. In 2005, the Rand Corporation, in a study commissioned by the British Parliament, said despite copious amounts of research, there is little evidence to show there's a gateway drug. I'll give you a very simple stat to show that marijuana is not a gateway. Between 95 and 100 million Americans have smoked marijuana or used marijuana in this country. About 5 million people have used cocaine, and a little over 2 million have used heroin. Where's the gateway? Sheriff Billy Young said that he smoked marijuana. Why didn't he walk through that gateway?
Yes or
Most people watching this know that they've used marijuana and they have not gone on to heavier drug use. That is a myth made up by prohibitionists to try and explain why something safer than alcohol is illegal.
Yes or no? Will you put large amounts of out-of-state special interest money, like Mr. Soros's and other people, into, wait a minute, yes or no? will you do the same thing that your campaign did in 2002? Yes or no?
We are a campaign. And
yes or no? Are you going to do the same thing?
We will take money from anybody who is generous enough to donate it to us, no matter where they live. That's right.
Okay.
And like any political campaign.
Let me bring up the other side of this issue, which I think is kind of interesting. I had a heart attack back in 1994, and because of that, I take a lot of different kinds of drugs. And at one point, one of my medications was changed, and I wasn't told that I had to slowly take myself off one drug before I moved into the other one. And I started having all kinds of withdrawal symptoms, not knowing that. And finally, I went to a pharmacist who said, you know what, you should not have taken yourself off that drug like that. You should have done it slowly. Are we not addicted in this country to prescription drugs? And isn't there a problem with people who are having alcohol with prescription drugs or over-medicating themselves with prescription drugs? And shouldn't that be looked upon as, if not equally as dangerous, but even more dangerous than what we're talking about?
We have all kinds of problems in society. I mean, it's not a, you know, one cure fits all. But, you know, Dick, my question to you is, as long as I've known...
Would you mind if he answers that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're doing the same thing the proponents are doing, Sam. You're mixing apples and oranges. The drugs you're talking about, and yes, people do abuse prescription drugs. Those have been approved by the FDA, they've been approved by the AMA, and they're prescribed by your doctor as medication to be used for a specific designated ailment or treatment of an ailment. The drugs we're talking about that are trying to be legalized have not been approved by the AMA. In fact, the AMA came out last time around and directly opposed marijuana.
No, that's not true.
It is not. The FDA has never approved it, nor have the proponents gone to the FDA to get approval. And so we're sitting here with drugs that do not treat a specific type of ailments or can be used that way, that have never gotten the approvals that they need to get. So we're talking about some renegade drugs here.
The AMA has no position on medical marijuana, and they opposed making marijuana illegal in the 30s. But here's the point. We're not talking about medical marijuana. What we're talking about is our drug laws do not work. And according to the Department of Justice 2006 drug threat assessment, the majority supplier of marijuana in this country are Mexican drug cartels. They're selling to inner city gangs. 61% of the illicit drug trade coming in from Mexico is marijuana. We are financing the criminal market with our current marijuana laws. Last year in Nevada...
And you know what? That's where we're going to have to leave it. We're out of time. Good discussion, gentlemen. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.